So guys, we are back with part 2 and it's even better. So we are going on with this conversation because of maybe someone who have not watched part 1. The conversation that we are having today, we are discussing about the do's and don'ts of single moms and single dads when they are dating. And I'll give my guest another chance to introduce herself because of you who maybe you have not watched part 1.
Hi everyone, my name is Grace Wachori. I'm a wellness coach and I'm so pleased to be here to having this conversation with Miriam.
Wow, we have really enjoyed part 1. Kahuja watch, can go back, watch part 1, then you come back to part 2 because it's just a continuation.
Yes.
And now, I was trying to think, what is the right time for, if you are dating and you have a child, what is the right time to introduce or to tell the person that you are dating that I have a child?
So, disclosing that you have a child and dating are two very different things. So I'd say from the get-go, disclose that you have a child. If it doesn't happen on date 1, let it happen on date 2. Please don't let it go beyond there. Because this person is forming a perception about you. This person is really, really interested in getting to know you. And the fact that you withhold something that important says something about you. And therefore, the day you bring it up, this person will wonder, are you really the person I thought you were?
And what were you waiting for?
And what were you waiting for all this time? Because being a parent, this child is a part and parcel of you.
Of you, yeah.
Sasa hata naweza kuwa na shanga ndio maana nakupigianga saa zingine uchukue simu. It all starts making sense, but sasa what you've done, you've broken the trust.
It will create insecurity.
Yes, it will create some insecurity because you didn't disclose it early enough. Disclosing it, I would say, from the very get-go, from the very beginning. Because also, especially, you want to screen your environment. Ujue, ukisema tu kuna mtoto amechange, ujue hata hapa hakuna waste my time. Hakuna waste my time.
No hopes.
Unajua kuna hopes, usiendelee. But also imagine umeinvest, alafu useme hakuna mtoto waambie mimi sidating watu wako na watoto. Imagine how much time you have lost.
It will hurt you.
It will hurt you. It will hurt this other person. It can even cause enmity between you.
Yeah.
And there's no point, right? Now, introduction is something else. Introduction is when you have weighed, you have disclosed already, you have watched each other, you have decided, yes, this can work, and yes, we want to take it to the next level. Now it's about seriousness, actually trying to consider, can we spend our lives together? Then now that's the time to introduce the child. But how you introduce the child, don't just start saying, this is my husband, this is my friend. Let's start that. This is my friend. The child is not stupid. The child is going to watch you and realize, Then let them develop their own personal relationship. Because if they're going to be in your lives, you're not going to be a go-between. So jiondoe, watch and then they develop their own relationship and see, can this be healthy or not? Kwamba unaweza angukia mtu, but you realize your mtu is not good for your child.
Yeah. He's good for you, but
not good for your child. And that's what I said, you have to decide what's good for you. And if your values say that I want what is good for my child, then that person is not the right person for you. But if you're someone who doesn't care, unasema huyu ako hapa 18 years aniondokee, utachukua huku, but kazi yako utakuwa unashindanga tu kiwa manage.
And you will spoil the life of the child.
You will. And there's no
because by the time she or he gets to that 18, he's not the kind of child you wanted.
Yeah. You know, it's not the kind of child you envisioned. It's not if there were different circumstances, this child would have blossomed so much better to be someone else.
Yeah.
So, presence of mind, man. Usi, just be honest. Be honest with yourself.
Don't be selfish.
Yeah, don't be selfish.
Yourself and you're not thinking about the child.
And then remember, God gave you this child. This child does not belong to you.
Sure.
This child belongs to God. And you will be judged and you'll have questions to answer on what kind of a steward you are and what kind of a shepherd you are with this child. Did you prepare them for the world so that they get lost or so that they enjoy and grow into the purpose God has for them? You are the chief whip for those years in this child's life. So, there's a higher responsibility, there's a higher calling that, by the way, some people who have children will never understand.
Wow, that's interesting.
They never understand. So, take the time to jua mse niko na yeye, hata anaelewa kukuwa mzazi ni nini, ama anajifanya, ama atolerate. Hata siku hizi kuna watu wanakutolerate until akipata hiyo kitu anataka, si unajua ni nini? Anakutolerate. Kataa. Decide affirmatively. If you're not for me, if you're not for us, you're not for me. It's either you're for us or not. Yeah.
Wow. And there are other cases that as much as you are getting involved with another person's life as a single parent, there is the child's father, and maybe the child's father is in the picture. Maybe he's the one who is providing, but you have both of you have decided to move on. You are not together anymore.
Yes.
How do you prepare the other person about it, and what will be the position of this person that is coming into your life?
Yes.
Keeping in mind there is a father.
Yes. So the first question that usually comes out of this other person's mouth when you say, by the way, I have a child, is usually, where's their father? That's usually the first question that comes, or the second, maybe they'll ask you how old is he, then and the father or the mother, where are they? And be truthful. Just be truthful. Either they're in our lives or they are not. At the first stages, you don't have to really explain that. But when you start understanding that this might morph into something more, you want to start. Sisemi umwangushie yote pa.
Atahepa.
Utamshtua. Anza tu kudrops dose hapa, dose pale, dose hapa, dose pale. And especially if this other party is involved in this child's life. Kama mzazi yako kwa maisha ya mtoto, hata amwambia by the way tunaenda kupeleka mtoto na baba yake mahali au na mama yake mahali, atashanga kwani ni aje? Na kama mtu ako serious, na nakupenda na nakutaka, atakuambia tuketi chini tuongee story.
Yeah.
Na hapo utamueleza what you're doing, who does what. And by the way, by the time you're going to talk about that conversation, even know how they will fit into that picture. I see a lot of women don't like saying the truth. Or even men, they don't like saying the truth. And what you do, you want to hold. Unataka wewe ni uko unashikilia your relationship na huyo mzazi. Una manage your relationship, utaki huyo mzazi mwingine. But the fact is, una undermine mwenye uko na yeye mpya. Jua haski anaingia hii familia aje. Welcome haski anaacceptika kwa hii atafiti hakui accepted. Alafu ukifanya hivyo kenye unafanya unaonyesha huyu mwenye ako nje bado uko mimi ni msee, bado uko ni kwangu, unakosea
say kwa hiyo familia,
unakosea. You lose someone good because you have undermined them, because you've given someone else who is not even in your lives, who you have no future with. Yes, he's the father or the mother of this child. And that's why I would say separate your relationships. There's a very clear relationship of you and this person, the other parent, but there's also a very clear relationship of the other parent and your child. It's not a triangle. That is direct and direct. Then there's the family, dynamics. You need to separate those relationships because you don't want to hurt that relationship. And how you don't hurt that relationship is by being honest to this other parent and being honest to your child. Ambia mtoto wako, unajua mimi na baba yako hatuko pamoja, na mimi na mama yako hatuko pamoja, but tunakupenda and you're always here. And we'll always be friends. We'll always try to make sure you have everything you need. We are here because of you. Then between the two of you, mwambie si wewe tuliachana, tuheshimiane, tusijaribu kuharibiana maisha.
If it's co-parenting, it's co-parenting without anything else.
Usi disrespect huyu mwanaume niko naye ama mwanamke niko naye. And for me, what I'd even advise a step further, and especially for men, even for women by the way, wacha waingiane, wacha wapangange mambo. Wow, jiondoe
like both men.
What? Kuna soccer practice sijui watoto wanapelekwa sijui wapi, jiondoe kwa hiyo story. Pigia baba yake na huyu mzee waongee hiyo story. Kenya umefanya, umejiondoa, hakuna drama. You force them to get along. You force them because they are grown up men to come with the best decision for this child.
Maybe for men it can be easier. What if it's women?
Now for women, I put it on the men. The men have to put their foot down and tell my wife, you are my wife. This is the mother of my child. You need to respect the mother of my child as the mother of my child. And you as the mother of my child, you need to respect this woman as my wife. When you put your foot down, Evo, and then when you say that, behave as such. Behave as such.
So kusema hivyo and your
actions are saying something different. What will happen is women like to be led. We are naturally led. So utaona tu ametii na amekuheshimu. You put your feet down. So wakisema ati sijui mtoto anaenda wapi, unawaambia si muongee muagree, mtaniambia.
What?
But the problem we have is we are so afraid to do that.
Especially for women.
We are so afraid to do that. Nikuulize, what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen?
And actually he was with someone else before you.
What is the worst that can happen?
The worst that can happen is that person to leave you.
So you just give it a shot. Kama alikuwa nakuacha akuachi juu ya hii, anakuacha juu yako.
Hata ukimwangalia, you cannot always be with him.
Yes. So what's the worst that can happen? Jiondole hiyo drama. We introduce, wasema we are serious about going on in life, and because the two of you are in my child's life, we need to come up with a system how we make this work without hurting the child.
Best for the child.
Without hurting the child, what is best for the child, and also without hurting ourselves, right? Because if you're not in a good frame of mind, no matter what you're going to do good for the child will suffer because all of you are not getting along. Watoto wanaonanga. By the way, that watoto wanaweza kosa kuongea, but macho ziko hivi, masikio ziko hivi. They feel even with their skin. They know everything that's going on. So if you guys don't get along, then you end up hurting that child. Is it easy? No. It's not easy. Mtakosana, mtatusiana, mtastorm out of the room, mtakatiana simu,
you'll create dramas,
create drama. But finally, because it's a process, you know how a group is formed, mnakuja unaona mnaanza kuchoreana, huyu yako hivi, alafu later una realize
after learning each other,
by the way hayuko hivyo, by the way acha nimtest, unamtest, by the way hayuko tunaweza sikizana.
It's not what I was thinking.
It's not what I was thinking. Na by the end of it mnapata mnasikizana. Imagine you will surprise yourself. But you will never know unless you try. Is it going to be easy? No. But you're not doing it for you. You're doing it for this child that you love as a parent, and also you're doing it for this man or this woman that you love, that you want to spend the rest of your life with. And it's worth the sacrifice. It's worth it. It's worth the work, because at the end of it, oh my God, you'll have such a wonderful relationship. We call them blended families, right? Blended families are the reality of today. Divorce numbers have gone high. Oh my God, like now during Corona, have you seen how many girls have gotten pregnant?
Yeah.
What's the reality of that situation?
And most of them will get married at the end of the day.
That's the reality. So let's normalize. Let's normalize talking to each other. Let's normalize no drama.
Yeah.
Let's normalize being vulnerable and talking. Am I saying vulnerable is a bad thing? Kuna vile unaweza make a bad thing ati mtu akikwambia kitu unaenda kumka undercut na hiyo kitu mbaya. But no, let's respect each other. Let's say this is what I want. I don't appreciate it when you do this. Na wewe ukiambiwa hivyo, respect the other person. You know, meet them halfway. Compromise. Because without compromise, it won't work. The key thing is be vulnerable, compromise, and be committed to work through it. Imagine it will work, but it won't until you try.
Wow. And you have to make tough decisions.
It's very tough.
And not to be selfish with
You
yourself.
can't be selfish. I mean, hata wewe uliumba we enjoy you the whole world. Sasa unakuwa selfish ikwe aje. Si usijipenda. Hata ukijipenda, you know, a human being is not an island. We are social animals.
You can
never do it by yourself.
Yeah.
Sembuse sasa mtoto. You know, yeah.
Well, I can't imagine a child growing in such a situation. It can be enjoyable for the child, because it's like you have 2 moms, two dads.
Imagine.
Both of them, they love me, they care for me.
Can you imagine?
They want the best for me.
Know, will be very, and this child will grow empowered. Like you show them from an early age, there's nothing they cannot achieve.
Even the self-confidence
shoots up.
Self-esteem
shoots up. You know, they kwanza those crises, those conflict solving skills. Uwezi kuja umwambie ati tuweze sikizana, si ameiona nyumbani, tunaweza sikizana.
Yeah, anything can happen. Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
Also usijipende, patia mtoto kitu. Na kama unaona mtu mwenye unajaribu kudina yeye ako na ego, my dear, pengine they're not for you. And it's okay.
Kubwa.
And it's okay. Hakuna shida. It's okay. Na msiachane vibaya. Wewe tu mwambie kuna vile na try maisha yangu kuishi bila drama. Kuna vile I'm trying to do life better. Na tuko on the same tangent. We're not on the same road. We're not on the same page. I wish you all the best. May God give you someone who you're on the same page. And may God give me someone also. Because it's okay for everyone to be happy.
Yeah.
It's okay. And that's God's intention, that we are all getting along. And the reality of today is that that's happening, and that's the reality of today. Blended families, single parents are the reality of today. So to tusijifanye hapa, to stigmatize, oh, you are sinners, even you are a sinner. You just sin a different way. And these so-called sinners also deserve having a good life.
Yeah.
And God wants that for them. So even as a society, let's allow them to have that platform to be happy. As they are working out through their issues, let's support them.
And that brings me to the next question. Like, there are some families whereby, especially the family of the guys, maybe a girl has a child, and maybe you are a brother, or this guy wants to marry this ready.
Mhm.
But the family is like, no way, mtu ako na mtoto hapana.
Mm.
How can you handle such a situation
Mhm.
if like you are the one who is having a kid and the family is against you, but the guy is for you?
Now, this is gonna sound mean, but it's not mean, it's the truth. Your family won't marry you. Your family won't marry you. Your family will not give you children. Your family will not spend the rest of your life. You know, everyone wants a companion, and your family will not be that companion. That said, though, you want to hear, do these reasons they're against it, do they hold any water? Right? Be someone who is, unasikiza tu, and then you make a good solid decision. Wanakwambia kwa nini? If there are reasons that hold water, then it will be good for you to take notice and consider and pause. Get the information that you need before you proceed. But if there are reasons that don't hold any water,
it's your life.
It's your life. Honestly, it's your life. Because hawatakuoa na hakuna siku moja mtu atakupenda 100%.
And by the way, do you know they will later blame you?
Yeah.
Ona hii miaka yote
umekaa bila kuoa.
Actually they will say you have been wasting yourself.
Na ni wao walikataa. But umepata mtu mzuri. Na unajua mtu mzuri, na hata nikwambia ukichange, ukipata mtoto ukiwa mzazi unakuanga mtu different sana from when you don't have a child. Mtu different sana. Na wewe ni unajua struggles zako. Wewe unajua kenye unataka. Wewe unajua wewe mtu utasikizana na yeye. Wao wanafikiria wanajua, wanafikiria hawajui. So wewe jiangalie and ask yourself pertinent questions. Huyu nikimuoa tuishi maisha yetu na mtoto wangu tukiwa happy, and even if my family does not support me, will I be okay? Because that's also a sacrifice you'll have to make, knowing I have married this person, and eventually and maybe they will not be in my lives. But really what happens if you are right about this person and you're living very well and you're happy and they're taking care of your child, they see she's a good person, they see he's a good person, and they are won over. You'll even find, I'm sure you have had stories, they come to apologize.
Yeah, later.
They come to befriend them later, because you stood your ground and you know this was good for me. There was all those reasons held no water, and you stood your ground and you married this person, and this person started being even a friend to the family. They come back, befriend them, they come back and they are good to them and they become friends. It's a different case if this person is not nice. It's a different case if the reasons that you are told are true and they are not good reasons. Then you go ahead and marry them. Utalia na jicho moja.
And no one will be there for you.
No one will be there.
Everybody will like, ona
tulikwambia
haukusikiza.
So I know when you're in love, love inakusukumanga, unasema toa love kwanza, angalia vitu objectively. Weka the pros and the cons. Look at your life and say, 10 years from today, if I marry this woman, where will I be? 10 years from today, if I marry this man, where will I be? Can I build a life with this person? Can this person be my companion? And if they are my companion, will my child be in a safe space? Will my child, for not just safe space, but will they be able to gain something from this person? Ama mtu ni amekaa tu hatutaki tunataka you bring something to the table. And when I say something, musikimbia kusema ni Grace anasema pesa. No, sisemi pesa.
You might not have money, but the kind of ideas you have.
The ideas you have. The kind of a nurturing person you have.
Yeah.
The kind of environment
support
you create. Ati mtu akikuja tu home, yani kumejaa peace.
Yeah.
Unajua kumejaa peace. Ukikosea mtu anakuambia hapo umekosea, hata even though you don't want to hear it, unajua kuna mtu by the way nikikosea ataniambia nilikosea, na najua they come from a good place. What else do they bring on the table? Anakuambia by the way ndio tumeona tukiongeza hivi si tufanye hivi. Ama ni mtu tu akukwambianga tuende. Tufanye. Na yeye atafanyi, na yeye haconsider. So jichunge because it takes two to tango, and you're doing life together, and you have to put your minds together for the rest of your life. Small things like, me I want a bathtub, you want choya nje. Small things like that are the ones that come back to make your home peaceful or not. Because if you put me in a house that I don't want, tuseme unataka nitone tukaishi, I don't know, tukene tukaishi Ushago. Mimi nataka kuishi Nairobi. Unipeleke Ushaboni kuacha Nairobi. Hey, let's be honest. Unless mukue committed to make that marriage work, munaweza mess up.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. I hope you guys have learned a lot, and hey, we will come back another day with Grace. It is not the final time to be with her. Tutamtafuta tena. And Kadri Grace, would you give us your parting shot? as
My-
we finish.
My parting shot is, you are a steward for this child, because the topic today is about the do's and don'ts for a single
Single
parent. You are the steward for this child. Do not consciously put them in a situation, in an environment that is not good for them, because God has given you a responsibility over the life of this child. I don't care what people say. Vile huyo mtoto alikuja, I don't care. God is a giver of life. And when God gave you that life to take care of it, it's your responsibility. So do not mess it up. Take it seriously. And co-parent with God. Raise this child with God, so that the decisions you make, you're making them with God. When someone else comes to that life, you're making that decision with God. Be a faithful servant in that specific calling. And should I say, it's the highest calling.
Awesome. Wow, thank you so much for coming. We have really enjoyed being with you. And guys, if you have not subscribed, please, kama kawaida, subscribe, like, and share. And God will bless you so much. Bye-bye. Until next time.
Bye.